Oh, hey, how you doing? Looks like you beat me here. So, I was just outside. That's why Axel was still outside. And I was walking around the neighborhood and, get my exercise. Because you got to get out every once in a while. And so, I was outside and I'm walking around. And people got their stuff out right now, like garbage and stuff. And so I saw this little thing here. It's just sitting there with all the garbage, like real garbage. And this is like not really garbage. So I don't know if I'm supposed to. I think it might be wrong, but because I think the city's like, don't take people's garbage. It's not yours, it's ours. The city wants the garbage. But I was like, city, you're not getting this guitar. So then I got this thing. I don't play guitar, but then I was thinking, maybe it's a perfectly good one, so I can't leave it. So I'll take it. But then I get it, and it's like, I don't know if you can see, but there's 5 strings and a spot for a 6th one. I think on a perfectly good acoustic guitar there's supposed to be 6 strings, but I'm not going to play it, so it's okay. I don't need any strings. And then this part here, I think the music people call this the bridge, and it's like all slanty slant, like warped. So that's probably bad too. And then definitely not tuned. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I am. It's not tuned, and so But then I was like, no, maybe I won't take it because it's garbage. But then it said Jaguar, and I was like, I gotta take a Jaguar guitar because that's wild. So I took it, and now I got it home. And then I was thinking, it kind of reminded me of this movie where all these French people, they live in this place. It's like a cave house, and it's got, it's made of junk. It's just like garbage, and it's like refrigerators and stoves and all sorts of stuff they put together to make this whole place. It's like a nice solid house, but out of junk. And in the inside they collect junk. And there's like one lady, and she's got like a calculator in her brain, and so she looks at stuff and she catalogs it all, and she knows how much they have and stuff. And like other person, she's like the cook, and she's like their leader. And then they got it's like a bunch of misfits, I guess. And like this one lady, she's all bendy, like she's very bendy. And another guy, and his thing is he's a human cannonball, and you put him in a cannon, and he's got a helmet on, and then they threw him into the air. Yeah, that's pretty fun. And it's like, so they all live together, and they collect all the garbage and stuff. So this is kind of like that. Did I say that movie is called Micmacs? I don't know if I said it. It's a pretty good movie. It's not really about the junk people. It's about a guy who lives with the junk people because he loses his job because he got shot in there. He got a bullet right in his head. But he works at a video store and he hears noise and he goes outside. That's why you don't go outside if you hear noise, because then somebody shoots it and a random bullet gets him it's in his brain. But then the doctor's like, well, if we take it out, you're going to die, and if we leave it, it could kill you. But now they're away, so I don't know what to do. And so the doctor says, but wait, I got a solution. And he flips a coin, and I don't know if that's how they do it over in France, if that's how they decide things like that. But he flipped the coin, and the coin says, no, you leave the bullet in there. So the guy has a bullet in there, and he's no longer has a job. Because when he gets back, the guy at the video store is like, sorry, you took too long deciding what to do with that bullet, and now you don't have a job. So the guy goes around, and then after a while, he finds these people that are collecting garbage, and they're like, yeah, you come live with us, but you gotta collect garbage, junk and stuff. And so he does that. So that's kind of what I did. I took this and I am collecting it, but I'm not gonna make a house out of it yet. Yeah. So, but that was the first movie I thought of, and then when I was walking down the street with it, I had it on my back like this, carrying it like this. I'm like, oh, this is like that movie with that guy, and he's like, it's in like the 70s or 80s, I think, and it's like rock and roll hair bands, and there's this guy, and he's in a tribute band. They sing all the songs of the big band, and he's a good singer. And then they get to go to the concert, and he goes there, and he's at the very front. And so the main singer, he's like, whoa, singing. And then, but the other guy, it's Mark Wahlberg, it's the other guy, and he's like the tribute guy, and he's right at the front there, and he's singing the same words. He's like, oh, I'm also singing. And he's singing it as good. And the guy even looked at him like, stop that. And then the main singer guy, though, he ends up not liking that band anymore, so he leaves. But the band's like, we need to make music so we can live and do all this stuff. And so they say to people, we're looking for a singer. And Mark Wahlberg hears this, and so he comes and like, yeah, you're a good singer, you can be our singer. And then, but it turns bad because it's all like, you know, what it does to you, or the fame and stuff. And maybe it's called Fame. I don't remember what it's called. Is it Fame or Famous? I think Fame's like a girly movie with like all the people and they're like really skinny and they want to be singers and dancers. So they go to the school and it's all competitive, singers and dancers. That kind of, sorry, that was aggressive. But yeah, it's like that. They have all the passion and stuff. I didn't watch it because it's a girly movie. I think there's like 2 of them, like an old one and a new Fame. But anyways, whatever this movie is with Mark Wahlberg, if you remember the title, let me know. And so it turns bad. He breaks up with his girlfriend because he can't handle, like, he's like loving on other ladies because there's lineups of them. I guess that's a thing. And then he leaves the band, or the band breaks up, and he starts singing acoustic like this. And he's like singing, it's all moody and stuff. You're like, oh wow, he's really finding himself. And at the very end, he's walking with his guitar on his back and his long rock and roll hair in a ponytail, singing kind of mess. And that's what I reminded me of, doing that. And if you haven't seen that movie, I pretty much just ruined it for you, sorry. But yeah, so it's like, it was a good movie though. But Mark Wahlberg's like, that's like his thing. He like did that, and he's like, hey, I'm really good at doing this thing where I'm a guy and I'm like brooding and I gotta find my way, and everyone's gonna be like, oh no, he's a good guy, but he's doing, you know, bad things, or bad things are happening to him, you know, because he's like in Boogie Nights, it's like that kind of guy, and in that football movie he did, and that's kind of the same kind of guy, and then The Fighter, and then there's a really good movie that he was in, it's like the same thing, but he's a hitman, and he's like the professional hitman, like they go and kill people, and then they come back to like their base, or their workplace, and they like change their clothes at lockers and stuff, like they have lockers and showers, and they talk to each other about the day, so it's kind of like the normal job, except for they kill people. And Lou Diamond Phillips is the bad guy, but you don't know that at first, so I spoiled that for you too. But he's a really good bad guy. I like Neil Diamond. No, not Neil Diamond. Neil, is it Neil Diamond Phillips? Neil Lewis Phillips? Neil Phillips Lewis? Oh boy, I don't remember that guy's name. I think I said it right the first time. But that guy, he's like the Indian guy in Young Guns, and Young Guns are fighting, and the guy that doesn't like Indians goes to stab him. And he puts his arm up, and it goes right through his arm. The knife, the big knife goes through his arm, but then he can't pull it out. And he's like, that's an old Indian trick. I got you. And so, yeah. But back to that movie, it's like the same thing for Mark Wahlberg. He's like all brooding, and he's got like everyone's mean to him. And he's really just trying to do the right thing, you know, and just kill people that need to be killed and stuff, and do the job. So, anyways, yeah. That's what I'm up to. I'm going to see you next week, so you can just, you know, let me know what you're doing, or if you figured out any of the people or movies I'm talking about, you can put that down, or just write that to me, or I guess you can do like a video reply. That's a real thing now. That's kind of cool. But yeah, so I'll see you next week. I don't know what we're doing, but I'll see you next week. See you later.